let's start with some breath. Okay, so Nadi Shodhana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how Nadi Shodhana should be really done. The way we do it, the way they do it in the West to teach people is to have the fingers there and it manipulates the third eye. But the correct way to do it, which you're going to find out in the Absolute Wellbeing course, is to bring those two fingers, peace fingers, instead of there, you bring them down like that. So that's a mudra. Okay, so we'll call it mudra and you'll understand that a bit later. So you just bring the fingers down into the palm. Okay, so they come down, yeah, that's it. It's almost like hanging loose, but you've got your ring finger. And then you do it like this. So thumb on the right, inhale, and then bring that across, hold, then release. So those fingers are always near the nose. Okay, so that's the idea. So try that one, and it won't shock you on Monday when you get this thing about the new way to hold. And just continue through. Just focusing first on the inhale, so making it deep, and the exhale, long and slow. It just starts settling you down from having technical issues. This breath. And just continue on another 5 or 6 rounds. And then when you're ready, just bring, you should finish through the left hand side. So just come through the left with the exhale and just bring the hands onto the knees and then just move into deep breathing. We're going to go into the first pose from this position. So just 3 or 4 nice deep breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into the forward bend in Sukhasana. So just moving forward in Sukhasana, so as comfortable as you can with the legs the way they are, and just move forward. You can have anything you like in front of you, a bolster or a block, a cushion, and just work your way down. So what you want is your stomach to end up on your shins or your calves. And then we're really stretching through that lower back there. So this is a pretty deep stretch to start off with. It's a little bit deeper than child's pose. Still opening your hips as well. So it's probably the next level from child's pose to work on. And just continue through with that breath. So we'll work deeply in the hips today. The feedback was pretty good with all the spine work on Tuesday, Wednesday. Your spine should feel awesome. I've felt it all week. So just work on the hips now. Get the spine ready. The hips will open up a little bit more. Just keep breathing through, getting that breath to move deeper and very rhythmic. So just work on the rhythm of that breath. Beautiful. You should start feeling that lower back stretching and then start feeling it into the glutes. The deeper you're getting into it, feeling it in there. Seat bones should be on the floor, so keep pushing those seat bones down towards the floor. Minute to go. Last 35 seconds. So if you can crawl a little bit further forward, if you can come a little bit deeper, do that. If you're comfortable where you are, just stay there. And when you're ready, slowly coming up. And then stretch the legs out. Give them a little bit of a shake. And just reach around for your block, and we're going to come into supported bridge. Come up as high as you feel like you need to come up. You should maybe feel that when you come up into supported bridge, feel what you've just done in that forward bend. You'll just feel that feeling in the lower back. I don't know what to call it, but just so coming into supported bridge, come up as high as you can go where you feel like going today. Just enjoy this pose. This really gets the hips ready by pushing those hips upwards. It's quite a deep back bend, but a good hip opener as well. So really nice pose to be in. Particularly after a forward bend. So shoulder blades were outwards, away from each other on the last pose. This time we bring them towards each other and chin towards the chest. So you get used to that rhythm of the change of the poses. Shoulder blades away, then back, away, then back. The reason we get frozen shoulder and shoulder issues is because we don't use that effect too often. They're either just rolled forward and stay there most of the day. So you've just got to work them together as much as you can, as well as bringing them away from each other. So if you just think about your posture, like yesterday I was on a computer nearly all day, so my posture was shoulder blades away from each other. Shoulders rolled downwards and I'm still trying to lengthen through the spine that way, so it doesn't work. So I can feel this now really working well. So keep bringing that chin to chest, lengthening through the spine. And if you've ever got a sore neck in this, or it's too tight to keep bringing the chin to the chest, make sure you place something under the back of your head. You can even just roll up a towel and just have it up a little bit, or a cushion or a block. It's important to bring that chin to chest in this pose and shoulder blades together, because we're lengthening through the spine. We just want that space between the vertebrae. So the last 30 seconds. And slowly come out, so just bend the knees up, release what's under you, and come into Shavasana. So it's a pretty deep forward bend to start off with and back bend to start off with. I know they seem quite easy, simple poses. Particularly first thing in the morning, we're really asking a lot of the spine and the hips in those poses. So now it's time to relax and just rejuvenate. And when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. A nice squeeze. And then we're going to roll up to a seated position, and we're going to come into, so grab your strap and your bolster or whatever you're placing behind you. This is a really good pose for the next, moving into deeper hip openers. So bring the bolster right up against you. We're coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you can lay flat on the floor if you like. You don't have to have anything behind you. Just bring the strap down, place it under the feet. Put it on like a shirt. I was actually going to do another pose instead of this, but I just changed my mind to this because this is a slow release of the hips. The other one was a bit more intense, so we'll do that a little bit later. So grab the strap if you don't wrap it around you and pull to open those hips as much as you can, or tighten the strap up. If you don't want to put a strap on, you can just lay back, but just make sure those knees are dropping to the floor. If you don't want to lay on anything behind you, just lay flat on the floor and bring chin towards chest, so shoulder blades together, chin towards chest, and we're just opening up through those hips. So you want to feel it in the adductor muscles, so right in the groin there.
Look, man, just right on each bolster.
Beautiful. Just relax. So this is an opening of the hips, but we're spending more time in lengthening through the spine again. Okay, so the spine is a major part of every yoga pose. It doesn't matter what we do. The spine is a major part. We've got to get that in the correct position. Just like when you're doing weight training or anything like that, the spine is really, really important. It's got to be focused on in every pose. So that's why chin to chest, chin away from chest, they all make a big difference to the pose. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades away, sternum up, all that sort of stuff. What I'll continually say is really important to get the most benefits out of each pose. And breathe. Don't forget the breath. So many different ways we can teach ourselves to focus on the breath. And when we're in a pose, we've just got to find that place of stillness and then focus on the breath and just realize that the thoughts are still going to come through. But if you just focus on that breath and don't connect to the thoughts, just keep in that relaxed state. So we're going to start getting into deeper hip stretches after this. So really enjoy the next minute and 20 in this. So the last 30 seconds. Drop those knees out a little bit further if you can. And then slowly come out of the pose. So just relax in Shavasana. So there's another way to do the pose. So if you just have a quick look here, I'm laying on my back, just getting my spine straight. And if you've got a bolster, you can place the bolster there, and that's pushing your knees down nicely. But what you can also do is build it up by putting blankets. So when I was in teacher training, that's what we did. We used the bolster this way, and then you just kept adding blankets. And so they would slowly open the hips. It's a really nice way to get deeper into the hips. So you could add anything like books or something, or bricks or tiles. So come into Shavasana.
And children?
Yeah, children, husbands, wives, whatever. And just relax in Shavasana. So we really want to get this blood to pump through those hips now, because we're going to start getting deep into that area. So just relax and just allow that to flow through. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. So have a squeeze into the chest, then just release the hands and then bring the knees to the right. Not for too long, but just bring them there nice and slow. So it's just like a really deep windshield wiper pose. Come back to center, drop them down to the left. And then just do that once more by the side. So we want to really open up the hips wide now. So this is going to give us that opportunity to get in a little bit deeper, then roll up to a seated position. We're going to come into dragonfly pose, but we're going to be in this for quite a while. So have your bolster, block, strap, everything close by, because the first one we're going to do is we're going to go to the left-hand side. So what I want you to do is have the hands in front, then bring the left hand on the other side of the leg, the left leg, turn the chest around and come down into the pose from there. Okay, so wherever you can grab. If you want to have the strap and have it around your foot, that's a good thing to do. And then just pull on that. Okay, so it's a really deep stretching pose. I've done this before, but just brief, just as sort of a stretch, but we're actually in this pose for 3 minutes, this side. So make sure that you're twisting the hip and the spine, then come down, so stomach to thigh again. This is like a really wide jhana Shavasana. So we're getting really deep into the hips. You should feel it a little bit uncomfortable until you start bringing that breath into it. So if you have to bring your legs in slightly, bring them in, but challenge yourself and come out as wide as you can go. I'm holding there. If you don't need the strap, you can just have your hands around. One of the important things is to keep pushing that right heel away. Okay, so push the right heel away, and you want to keep that leg on the ground. So you'll feel this deep in the hamstring, obviously, because you're pushing that leg away. It's an opening of the hips, a twisting of the spine, and a lengthening of the spine also. So as you come down, it's chin to chest. If anyone's grabbing around their foot, if you are grabbing around the foot, it's just like Jhana Shavasana. You bring the elbows down to the floor. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because that right elbow, you've got to tuck that right in. And so you're getting more of a twist. And then pull on the leg. And you can lift the heel off the floor as your both elbows are on the floor. So don't let those toes of the right foot drop down towards the floor. You want to keep them up, pointed to the ceiling, and push the heel away. You've got 11 minutes to go on this side. Just joking, Jules. Don't look at me like that. When you're ready, slowly work your way up. Then we move straight into the other side. So when you come up, make sure that you lengthen through the spine. So we're trying to get that spine out of the hip area. Hands in front, shoulder blades together. Bring the right hand over. Then twist. Then come down. If you need your strap, have your strap. Twist, come down. Pull yourself deeper into the pose with the strap. Hold the strap if you need to. If you can wrap your hands around, wrap them around. Work those elbows down. Beautiful. Just get into it the best you can, and just feeling it in the hamstring, feeling it in the seat bone perhaps, and you're twisting that spine. So you're not going to feel too much with the twist, but you're getting a really good benefit. And the hips, well, they're opening up for you there. So keep pushing that left heel away, bring the toes towards the shins. Don't let those toes drop downwards, okay, down to the floor. You want to keep them straight, pointing to the ceiling. Chin to chest as you come down, so tucking under. Beautiful.
What's hurting?
So you've got 50 seconds to go. Keep pushing that left heel away. Bring the toes back towards the shins. Okay, so the left side is to be focused on as well as the right. Last 20 seconds. Slowly, slowly work your way up. So what I want you to do now is just stay in this position. But I just want you to bring your hands behind you. So keep the legs out, bring the hands behind you. You can turn the fingers towards you if you like. It's the best way to do it. Bring the shoulder blades together and drop the head back. Okay, so we just want to release that tucking under. We've been doing it for a while now. So sternum up, shoulder blades together, keep the legs as wide as possible. Now push the heels away and you'll feel your glutes just engaging there. And bring the sternum, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Bless you. And then release, slowly come up. Got a noisy crowd today. Bring the shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest, and we're coming forward. And you'll find after that side and then back, you're going to come fairly deep in this forward bend. Beautiful. So again, you just start thinking about what you're doing in this pose. So you want the heels, both heels this time, to be pushing away. What that's doing is that's giving you the tilt of the hips, okay? So if you're just sitting on the hips and you're not trying to tilt them, you're not going to get forward. So you want to push the heels away, bring the toes towards you. That's tilting the hips a little bit more. Shoulder blades together and come forward. So always have the shoulder blades together. That's going to bring you forward a little bit more. We're just in this, we get in this habit of stooping. So we're rolling forward, squeezing the chest together, and we're not getting the length of the spine. So that's why we can't get forward that much. So shoulder blades together, sternum up, that brings you forward. Pushing the heels away, keep using that energy to push the heels away. You're going to love Shavasana after these poses. So what I'm going to do, because we started 5 minutes late, I'm going to go right to 8:30 with the poses. But if you've got to go, just go. Don't hang around. And so the last 5 minutes will be Shavasana. So just do what you have to do. It's good. Everyone's getting into it really well. I know it's a tough pose for a lot of you is this forward bending. I did a class last night at the gym, and there was 14 people in it. There was only 2 people that could actually fold forward. Everyone else was stiff there. So it's a really, really tough pose when you're not used to having your legs out wide and folding forward. But if you move through this, if you keep listening to what you're doing through the pose, it's when you relax mentally and you're not focused on the pose, because you want to get further. So push those heels away. It's really, really important. It's giving you the tilt of the hips. So just continually focus on where am I situated in the pose. So you've got 30 seconds left. And you're going to feel an amazing feeling when you come out of this pose. Well, at first you probably won't, but once you relax, you will. When you're ready, slowly work your way up. Now, bringing the legs in can be a challenge. And I'm seeing everyone getting challenged with that. And come into Shavasana. Relax in Shavasana. Just feel that lightness in the legs after this. Just let yourself relax in Shavasana and just feel the lightness as that blood just starts flushing through the hips, the legs. You've got any real tight spots, you'll feel it after that pose. I'm feeling tight in the left for some reason today, and I'm just feeling that unusual sensation at the top of the thigh and the bottom of the hip. So I'm just breathing into that now, just focusing on breathing into that area. And you just feel it slowly release, it just slowly releases. So when you're ready, bend the knees up, bring the toes and heels to touch and knees to touch, and then come into windshield wipers. So you can go as slow or as fast as you want in this. And then bring the knees together, squeeze, roll up to a comfortable position, seated position. So we're going to come into cow face. Okay, so we have the hips open, so now we want them closed and pushed in. So cow face pose is left foot under the right buttock. And remember, you can just bring that right foot over if that's as far as you can go. But what you need to do is bring stomach to thigh. Okay, so that's what you've got to work on. You just grab the knee with both hands either side and twist that stomach to thigh. Then you can start working that foot out as far as you can go, and then you're in the pose. Okay, so if you've got a little bit more flexibility and you want to come up, you just stack the knees on top of each other. And again, it's up to you. If you want a shoulder stretch, you can come into the pose. So it's right leg over, so left arm up, elbow up, palm onto the back, and then you bring the right hand under. You can use the strap if you want into the top hand. You can bring the hand under. Okay, so these are really deep hip poses. You don't have to do the shoulder pose if you like, but it's a really nice option. You can either just come in and out of the shoulder stretch. Or wardrobe malfunction. So I could tell you probably 5 or 6 years ago, I never thought I'd be teaching hip opening classes because I hated them with a passion. And that's because obviously my hips needed to be open. So I just couldn't stand in those classes. I used to just get into so much pain. Then I learned this thing called relax. So once I started relaxing into the poses, I actually started enjoying them a little bit more. Instead of pushing myself to be the best in the class, I was happy to be second best. Nothing below that, but second best. If you're doing the shoulder stretch and you're feeling quite comfortable, you can start coming forward. Eventually bringing your forehead to the floor. I'm just joking, forehead to knee. Get you in nice and deep there. So we've got just over a minute to go. You should be feeling this in the hips now, because the hips were out wide for so long. The next two poses we're going to have, we're really focusing on the outside of the hips this time. So last 30 seconds. And when you're ready, slowly come out of the pose. Flipping over to the other side. You can stretch out if you like. I always like to have a stretch out. Some people just get straight in. So bring that right foot under, lift and come over. So remember, it's stomach to thigh again. So you can just work the stomach to the thigh by hands on either side of the knee and twist that stomach around and come onto the thigh and then sit up. Then you're in the right position. So your spine is straight, your hips as level as they can go. This pose it's taken me a little while on this side to get comfortable. So always make sure that if you're not real comfortable, just get out of the pose, come back in. You usually find 2 or 3 times and you'll be right. You can move into the shoulder stretch if you like. So that's right arm up this time. Left arm comes under. It's mainly the hips we're after today. So shoulder stretch is just a bonus. So my hip is really tight today, so the knees keep unstacking. So you just got to readjust, keep readjusting to get into that position you need to be in. And get as much stillness as you can, whether the stillness is for 20 seconds, a minute, doesn't matter, but just get that stillness in the pose. Straightening the spine, bringing chin to chest. If you just there without the shoulder stand, shoulder stretch. Breathe through this pose. So last 30 seconds. When you're ready, slowly come out of the pose. So what I want you to do is just slide your legs forward and just allow that blood to flow through you. Give them a little bit of a shake. Before we come into another hip opener, we'll just bend the knees up, come into windshield wipers. So just two or three on either side. We really need to get a bit of a back bend in here. Sometimes when you close the hips up, your back tightens up and the back bend will release this one. So come onto the stomach and we're just going to seal pose. So you can do it with your legs wide apart or you can bring the legs together. It doesn't really matter. But judge where you want your hands. So just remember, the tighter your back, the further away your hands, okay? So the closer to the body, the more difficult it is for the back bend. So just bring the hands in a position you want them to be in and come to seal. So push the floor away. You're going to feel that tension perhaps, or the tightness in the lower back after those hip openers. So work with that. Just make sure you squeeze the glutes. You lift. So tight back is a really, really good way to release, and I'm going to show you what to do next. So you come back down, lift up onto all fours, and then come into a nice little child's pose. So not long, we're just pushing the hips back. Then come back up onto all fours and just do 3 sets of cat-cow. So that what we just did is a perfect back release. So everyone's got 30 seconds in their day to do that. So don't complain about a sore back because that will just release the tension. So it's back, forward, and movement of the spine. So we're going to come into square pose. So bring the left leg down. Remember, we don't want the heel up against the body. We want it away. And then stacking the shins. Okay, so it's either that or bring the left leg forward and the right leg up as high as you can go. So when you've got one leg, we're working towards doing two-leg version, okay? So what we need to do is help that knee down, okay? So you want that knee down. Once that knee's there, it still doesn't mean you're going to get into that position. So then you start coming forward, okay? That's teaching the hips to start opening up. Then it might take a while, but then you'll get into this. So don't rush it. Always use the one-leg version as needed. I used to always try and rush and get into this position. I could never do it. So it just takes time, and one day it just snaps. You're in there. And then slowly come forward if you need to. Just holding that pose. You should be really connected to the breath right now. Been in the class long enough to be connected. So the last 40 seconds on this side. You probably feel that you're getting in this quite deep to normal. We've had that real focus on the hips. So you'll feel that, you should feel that you're getting into the poses a little bit deeper, unless something's just seized up like on one side. When you're ready, slowly come out of the pose, moving to the other side. Just stretch the legs out if you need to. If you're doing one leg, so it's right leg straight, left leg up. Also, with that, you can actually have bolster under the hip there, and then you can work that leg down without any pressure on the groin. But you should get to the stage where you can just do this eventually, and then come forward. If you're in full pose, it's right leg under, left leg over, stacking the shins. So make sure the shins are on top of each other, okay? A bit of a tight knee there, so I'm just going to put... So if you've got a tight knee on one of the sides, a block is really good, or a towel. And you just place it under that knee, and straight away that takes the pressure off. I've got a little bit of tightness in that knee. And then I can still stack the shins. It's going to be a little bit higher there, but I'm working that down. And then that tension in the knee will release, and you just slowly bring that out. And I've got no tension now. Okay, so they're the little things that we'll learn as time goes on, how to get through your little... We think it's an injury. It's not. It's just your body just saying, hang on, don't want to go there. And you can easily coax it through. So slowly come forward. So make sure you got that space between your ankles and the backs of your shins. So what are they called? Calves. And and the body. And then slowly come forward. I get nervous when I'm live on camera and forget body parts quite easily. Does anyone do this pose while you're just sitting there watching TV or anything like that? No? Maybe that should be your homework. That's how I got my hips open, was just, I used to just get in the position, lean up against the couch and just work on this position, because this really, really gets your hips open if you're having trouble with hips.
Hurts this side.
Really nice.
Hurts. That's really nice. It hurts.
Beautiful. It's a minute and a half to go. So if you've gone through the process this week, which is Tuesday was spine twists, I think. Yeah, Wednesday was lengthening spine. So today, hips. You should be feeling pretty awesome. And you'll probably feel it more next week when you come into the classes, next week, and you'll start feeling that little bit more opening of the areas that we're working on. It's a continuation of working on our tight areas before you can get into any fancy sort of poses. There's all fancy poses that, eventually you'll be able to do some of them. You've really got to do these basic poses that work lots of areas of the body. And be comfortable in those first. So the extension of this pose is, and I can't do it, but because I'm still struggling to get comfortable in this. So once you're comfortable in this and you're just sitting there like, there's nothing going on, you bring your hands inside the thighs and then you push up and you levitate off the floor.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's true. That's the next thing. I'll do it one day if I know I can, but it's getting comfortable here. If you're not comfortable in this, you can't move to the next section without doing it, doing yourself an injury. So when you're ready, slowly come out of the pose, stretch the legs forward. We're going to come into a quick Shavasana, and then we just have to finish off just with a short happy baby pose. Okay, so just lay back in Shavasana, allow that blood to flow through the knees. And once you feel your knees are back and they're fine and your hips are fine, then just come into happy baby. So just a nice, easy happy baby. We just want to open up through, and if anyone has to go, it's 8:30 now, so just open up through the hips there. You should feel that nice opening of the hips. So we're only here for, a dozen breaths. And when you're ready, whenever you're ready, you can stay in it a little bit longer or just come into Shavasana. Oh, crunch.
What's that?
That's my hip. So it's working for me. I just got that crunch of the hip, which means it's just opening a little bit more. And then when you're right, just relax in Shavasana. Just enjoy that feeling of the opening of the hips. We worked a lot on the hips, obviously, but we don't, the hamstring should be really loose. The knees, we worked on the knee joints a lot and the ankle joints, lower back. So it should be feeling really nice around that area now. And just during Shavasana, just do it yourself mentally. So work through and just feel the lower back. So put your attention on the lower back. Feel how it feels. Visualize what the lower back looks like. Then once you've done that, after a couple of breaths, you move to the hips. So move to the hips and you visualize the hips. Feel what they feel like. Don't judge it, just feel it. And then move down to the knees. Feel the knees. You might want to do left first, right second, or both together. Just feel what they feel like, but feel the sensations in there and visualize the knees. And then move down to the ankles. Feel the same in that area, visualize. Then come back to the lower back and work your way down again. All the time, focusing on breathing into that area when you're visualizing it. It's a really important part of healing. So just go through that system and feel really nice, really light, and really relaxed in those areas. And then when you're laying in Shavasana now, just go back to the natural breath. Always just take your mind off everything, go back to the natural breath. Once you feel that you're breathing naturally, just that spontaneous breath. Then just give yourself a bit of thanks for persisting to get on today and getting on, getting through the challenges to just get online and doing the class. So give yourself a bit of thanks for that. Then start thinking of a gratitude. Could be to someone, something, some event in your life. Maybe it's something you're about to do or you've done recently. Send off a gratitude there. Then start wiggling the toes and the fingers. Rolling to the right hand side. Take a breath. And then moving up into Sukhasana, bring the hands into prayer position. Thumbs in the middle of the chest, shoulder blades together. Just get used to that lifting of the sternum, chin to chest. And thank you so much for being here this morning, getting through the challenges and allowing me to take you through the class. And I know you're all going to feel amazing after the hip openers, so enjoy the day. I'll see you all again soon. Namaste.